Hey everyone, my name is Will. I'm the CEO of Phonely, and today I want to walk you through a very commonly used feature inside of Phonely's platform, which is call routing, transferring, and then call escalation to a human based upon some sort of conditions. Now, why is this used in Phonely when we can automate everything? Well, a lot of situations do require some sort of human intervention, whether that be if you are, using Phonely for customer or technical support and they're asking about something that the AI hasn't been trained on. So today we're going to be walking through a quick tutorial on how you can do call escalation, call routing, and check out the different features that we have from warm transferring and cold transferring, which are both very powerful features. And we have some really unique one-of-a-kind methods that we can do to do this. When we get into Phonely's platform here, as you can see, I already have a flow set up. So this is appointment scheduling flow here. And I want to go through a really quick options that we do have. So first things first, we do have the transfer call option integrated into this flow request just because it's very simple. So one of the ways you can do it is you can build it into its own flow by just simply adding, a different node inside Phonely's builder, which says transfer call. Now, let's say that we don't want to do that. We want to go over to, maybe at any point during the conversation, we want it to be able to transfer. So as you can see in this situation, the only way that this can transfer is if it goes directly from this block to this block. But there might be some situations when you want the AI to handle asking for a specific person at any point in the conversation or any point in the context, and you want it to be able to transfer that. Or maybe the customer is getting frustrated and you want them to transfer out to talk to a human. Well, to do this, what we can do is we can define a new workflow here. And I'm going to just rename this to like transfer flow. And as we do that, we basically have a different flow that can be available in two different ways. So the first way is we can go from one flow to this flow just by using a transfer flow block, which is integrated inside of Phonely's platform right here. But the other and the more useful way to do it is, let's say in some situation, we want to make this a global flow. And so the way that global flows work is at any point during the conversation, Phonely can access this flow, and then it will transfer out of any of its other flows that it's in, any of them, and then it can route into this one here. So this is really powerful if you want at any point in the conversation, Phonely to be able to recognize that there's a situation like a customer is getting frustrated, and it'll actually allow that to happen. So I'm just going to type in some conditions where this might be useful for us to transfer out, to this transfer flow. So in this situation, we want to do when the customer is frustrated, or they ask to speak support, or I think it's Susan, or let's just say those two reasons, right? And so in these two reasons, if any point during the conversation, the AI detects this, then what it's going to happen is it's going to move over from this flow all the way over into this flow, and then it's going to proceed doing that workflow. So in that situation, this is great for transfer calls because this is going to be the only time we're going to want to trigger this. And then what we can do here is we can just simply add a transfer call block by selecting transfer call. Now, as you can see here, the transfer call block has a few different settings. We've got warm transfer and we have cold transfer. A cold transfer is basically just, it's going to forward number to whatever phone that you have available, and that's the one that's going to use. A warm transfer, what that's going to do is going to allow you to introduce the caller during the conversation. So we have a whole video going over the different options between warm transfer and cold transfer. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but basically the difference between the two is cold transfer is just passing the information over. Warm transfer, what it can do is it'll introduce the caller. So it's like, hey, I've got John on the line and they were interested in learning about X, Y, and Z. It can also do a more advanced feature, which is voicemail detection in the AI. So for example, what we can do is we can see if we're actually detecting a voicemail message. And if we do, we can pull back that conversation and we can continue having the conversation with the customer, letting them know that nobody's available. Now, while it's doing that, the customer is actually not even going to hear that it's going and looking for voicemail. It's basically completely isolated from that, and they can continue having a conversation without really knowing what was going on in the back end. So that's one of those really cool features that we do have with the warm transfer. And we're not going to get into the settings in this video, but what we want to show you is how you can get this stuff set up. So in this situation, let's go back and say we transfer into this start flow from an existing flow, meaning that somebody wants to, talk to a person. We're then going to insert a talk block here, which is going to identify who we actually want to talk with. So we're going to ask them, who they want to speak with. They want to speak to Sandy, customer support, or technical support. Those are the 3 different numbers that we have allocated. And then what we can do is we can add transfer call blocks for each one of those. We can put in our unique phone numbers for each one of those businesses. And then just like that, we can transfer out into those. That is the majority of the transfer call block. The other thing that I will go through really quick is if we do the warm transfer, we have a option of putting in the phone number, the pre-transfer message. We've got some other more advanced settings, but we also have the ability, if the transfer fails, which you can define in this block, then we have the ability to add in any additional block, for example, the talk block, to let the customer know that there's nobody available and we will get back to them. So we can do this on voicemail detection, we can do this on transfer fail, we can do this on IVR detection, and a few other methods. All right, so jumping into another scenario. So let's say that you only wanted to transfer during certain hours of the day. So for example, you only wanted to transfer over to your support line from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. because otherwise you don't have anyone there. It doesn't really make sense to do that. Well, to be able to do that, what you can do is you can use a time filter block on side of Phonely's platform that allows you to adjust the available days and times in which you can actually perform an action. So this doesn't have to just be transfer and call. It can really be anything, but a lot of our customers are using this for transfer call because it lets them define only during business hours do I want to transfer call, and outside of business hours, well, I would want to let them know that there's nobody available to answer the phone right now, and so maybe they would have that conversation. Nobody's available to answer the phone right now. Can I take a message? And maybe we'd send an email afterwards with all the information, or maybe we send a Slack message with all that information. So if you're interested in learning about a couple of those other things that I've mentioned, we do have separate tutorials and we have a whole help center inside of Phonely's platform where you can go learn about that. Additionally, what I will say is all of this information that you've heard today, you can ask our AI directly over here in this build section here, and it will be able to help you. It's trained on all this knowledge base. So this YouTube video that you guys are watching, our AI also has read through this. It understands every piece of it. And so if you have any questions regarding this, well, all of the information is also going to be here, plus a bunch more documentation that you can read through. And then you can simply click on the links here to go view the videos, learn more information about it. So anyways, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video to the end. We're really excited to help you improve your support of your business. And we can't wait to see what you guys build next on Phonely's platform. Again, my name is Will. I'm the CEO, and that's all for now.